Another late day, and this is what we've done. Handrails are into plywood. It's going to be real strong so they can pull themselves in and out. The reason the tape's there is the glue is still drying, so we're hoping to get that finished up. But we dressed up the put beadboard here and here. This is plastic, so it won't rot. Trim a better grade of trim. We can get real fancy with this kind of stuff, but it costs a lot more money. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it where they can get their lift under here, where they can have ease to get in and out of the tub. And we put a handrail for the toilet also. So all things that are making their life better. This is what you can do because we're Americans, not Americans. All right, we've come a long ways. Put the tub in. We had to reach in there. And by the way, my arm got hung up in that, but hooked up the plumbing and the vent inside the wall, which meant lifting it up, cutting a piece and putting it back in. And then the vent has to be in there also. We've also put in shutoffs back in here and fastened everything. And we found out what this was. It's a
sprinkler.
So it's working, so I'm not fixing things that ain't broke. But we put the plywood back on, different holes. Of course, it's quiet, and then you can sit on. I was bouncing, doing river dance on to test. Nobody died, and we're talking about a real short shower. So if I was in here, it would. I might get a good nasal wash. But for her, I mean, she could probably turn the neck up and then put the head up here and might still work. But particularly, she can hook it up and then wash the tub out. We're going to put an inexpensive tub surround, which obviously we'll have to cut off or it'll be flopping up here. And then we'll put trim around it just to make it look better. And also, we're going to put handrails on the top of that. Probably one right here, here, and then here. So that's where we're at. We started the trim on the outside, and we're going to change the look with beadboard here. That's it. We'll see you in a little bit. I didn't put my coat on because it got colder. I'm trying to put my coat on because I forgot it here, and I'm going to make sure I carry it out with me anyway. I am standing with my 260 pounds on the platform, which will hold the tub and let the lift go underneath it. But in the process, we found out that there was no gasket on the bottom of the existing tub, and the plumbing didn't have any supports, which it's now steadier, but plumbing didn't have any supports. We're going to fasten that, and we're going to change the length because we came up 9.5 inches of the spout, the bathtub spout. And we're going to put 2 shutoffs down here so that you can reach through. Found out that this column is 1 inch lower than this column, so we're going to fix that. We found out the bottoms are thinner than the tub, so we're going to fix that. So we're going to change the face of this. So we're having to do a lot, which is normal. But this is how it's going, and we'll see. Pray that we jump ahead, sort of like they do on the You Fix It Yourself
Home repair.
Home repair. And now we're here. I had a lot of company at the time we were putting down the linoleum. I would have showed you guys quite a bit of journey on how to. You have to put it in with excess, get it straight, kick it by standing in the corner and kicking this side. Anyway, there's a lot of work, and perhaps it'll be a whole nother. I'd rather not even show anybody how to do linoleum, but anyway, it's done. It's glued down because there's going to be a big old cart rolling on this. I have my concerns as to whether or not it'll last. But then, because the concerns of having 5.5 inches, we built a frame. Now, you might wonder why this one's sticking out more than that one. The drain pipe is going to drop down into that. Being it's going to be a lot of weight in water and in a person, we put studs on 6-inch centers. And then we just put stiffeners in there, and we're going to put plywood on top of that. So being this is a job that hasn't been done before by me, I'm saying this is going to be enough, and I certainly hope it will be. And that's this plywood. We got tongue and groove, made for flooring. I still put wood underneath the edges for the most part, not always, but most of the time. In this case, for sure, because of all the weight. We're using 1.5 inch screws, and I can see where the studs are, so I didn't have to mark them, or the floor joists were. And that broke. I put the screws about every 6 inches on the outside. The way I tell a lot of the guys is like from the tip of your finger to the bottom of your wrist, and in the field I say from your wrist to your elbow. So mind you, we still have all those supports underneath. And too much, there's no such thing. I guess you could put too many screws, but not likely. Anyway, that's it, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks to our good friend, the oscillating saw, and a lot of elbow grease, we got the tub surround off, and then took the umpteen brad nails out, and the screws out, and the regular nails out, and got the plywood off that they put around. You can see where the floor had been covered up. It used to be a garden tub. It actually says garden tub from the factory here, but the floor is
weak.
It's gonna have to be fixed. So, and we'll have to raise this up, and we'll have to raise the mechanical vent. Looks like we'll have to reinforce that, although I wouldn't have done rigid plastic fittings, but somebody decided that that would be a good idea. But we'll get all that straightened out, and we're going to raise this tub up after we fix the floor. There you go. Along, basically the funner part is tearing things up, I guess, particularly for a lot of other people. I would rather put things together, but anyway. We took up the laminate floor, which hides a lot of sins, but they noticed that there was a lot of soft areas and weird feeling places in here, so you can see that they did some patching here, and it wasn't high enough, so they added some paneling, so it's an overlayment, and then they put down peel and stick. And that's one of the reasons I quit using peel stick without putting additional glue, troweling it down, because the factory glue will let it move. But they didn't like that, so the people who were selling it put this over everything, which of course that area will probably, being it had to have, this is 5/8 most likely, the particle board. So that means somebody put 1/2 inch and then had to put some overlayment to bring it up. So it's pretty weak. But if you come over here by the toilet, they patched up that area before they put the laminate floor over. That's the kind of thing that I see a lot with laminate floor when a house is getting flipped. Like, oh, let's just run it over. And the thickness of this floor will carry a lot of weight, but invariably, whatever's below it will give out. So we're not going to do that. We're going to take all this particle board up, and we're going to put in real plywood flooring, and this made for flooring, and we're going to get rid of all that. We're going to add a lot more 2x underneath. We'll take pictures as we go along and video. So there you go, guys. We're this far along. We're still tearing things up. Okay, guys, the goal here today is to move this tub up so you get a lift under it, and that way they can lift the person out. So that means I have to rebuild the floor to handle the lift, and put another floor for this to sit on, move all the plumbing, change the tub surround. So we're going to replace all this floor so it'll be strong. We're going to add a lot of wood, and we're going to make the place a lot better than it was.